Hey everybody, how's it going today? Let me tell you something. I think this is going to be our last, one of our last normal weekends we will ever have in our entire lives. Young people, old people included. It's going to be totally different come next weekend or the weekend after, beginning then. And let me tell you why. Um, Today is the 10th of April, 2026, and excuse me, I have allergies. Um, the last shipments from the Middle East are going to hit the United States, talking mainly the United States. Um, they're hitting the United States in the middle of the month, which is 5 days from now, which is the middle of the month. After that, that oil is going to be offloaded, and then that's going to be it from the Middle East. We've had war in the Middle East. We've had destruction. We've had bombings, and it's just in hitting people's just all their plants, all the stuff, all the ships, all of the yeah people, and so. In order for us to survive all this, because there's not going to be no oil after that, we're going to be down by 30%. And that's not enough for this country to function. Sorry, I have my allergies. Um, trying not to cough in the mic. Um, Other countries that are not the United States are planning for it, trying to look at the adjustments, make the adjustments, bringing their people into like a big, huge mag, the planning stage and the okay preparing stage because they're being impacted now or they will be impacted shortly. And they're telling their people all of the ways the impacts will go throughout. Any petrochemical, anything that runs on oil, anything that runs on grease, tractors, farm tractors. Um, so other countries are saying, prepare now. This is how it's going to be affected. Work from home, do the things, don't use your car, conserve, 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 turn off your lights when you leave the room. Well, it's down to that. It's down to 1970s plus um, conservation methods. Here in the United States, that's a shock for people listening from the United States, from the mainstream person, because mainstream media is not talking about it here in the United States. They're like, yeah, we're in the Middle East, and everybody's like, yeah, okay, and they're going as if they're behaving as if nothing bad is going to happen. You know, it's like these allergies are horrible. Okay, so anyways, as I was saying, so people outside our country who are listening in, we're not being told anything. We're not being told to prepare. We're not say, they're not telling us all of the ways that we could possibly help this effort to have it not impact our lives severely. But the ways it's going to impact our lives is after the 15th, that oil is going to be processed through, and it's going to be down 30%. Down 30% is means gas for the cars, oil for the oil changes, any grease or things that anything petrochemical. The making of items here that needs any petrochemical. Um, fertilizers come from the Middle East. They're saying helium comes from Middle East. I guess there's a whole lot of chip plants finally being shut down because they're made with uh, ore and minerals and stuff that comes from Middle East. They're not getting through either. And a lot of the electricity plants here, they need at least some amount of petrochemical to function to make the electricity, to send the electricity to us. So not only is our gas and furnace oil and gasoline and LNG, all that stuff going to be affected. It's gonna have an effect on us like no other. They're not going to be able to sail the ships, the cargo ships, to come here, so that we're used to just-in-time economy. They're not going to do that because price of oil is getting really bad. No ships, yeah, they don't run on air. Um, uh, yeah, you're saying that the airlines are already jacking up baggage prices by $5 or $10. And it's like, that's nice. That's the only thing that we're being told is that the airlines are going to be affected because the price of jet fuel is going to go through the roof. So their carry-on bags or whatever bags, check bags, I don't know. It's going to go up by $5 or $10. I'm like, yeah, it's going to go up by a lot more after this is all done. They're stopping. They're condensing routes. They're already conserving in the ways they know how because they know what's coming. But but again, us, as in the average American, either they don't have any clue, or sometimes it's worse. Sometimes you know that a person knows, but they're not saying anything. And liken it to, yeah, there's a monster in a room, but if the person doesn't see it, doesn't look at it, they won't see it. And if they don't see it, it doesn't exist. They don't have to worry about it. Um, Other people over in Europe can't believe that we are not protesting in the streets and everything. Well, that's not how our system works anymore. So um, there is no amount of once somebody gets elected these days, yeah, there's no amount of listening that is involved. Um, so yeah, but anyway, I just want to tell you that in order to, I don't know, I have a ghost out front. I don't know. No idea. I'm gonna tell you that to tell you this: you should be preparing. You should be stocking up. You should be having, your grandmother's or your great grandmother's pantry. You should have one of those. If you don't have one of those, make up the pantry. Get your supply runs in. My supply runs include canning supplies. My supply runs include stuff to pressure can and water bath and all the the shelving and the secondary supplies from that. Um, all of the utility stuff like laundry detergent, and you just buy a few extra of those, or learn how to make it yourself, or how are you going to get by once these things become unavailable? You should start thinking about that. No, you should start thinking about that. You should start doing that because we're going to go. We Americans are in for such a shock by the end of the month. It is going to be ridiculous. They're not talking about working from home here. They're not talking about if you have to commute, cut your commute, secondary transportation, transportation by public transportation. A lot of our, if you're, again, if you're listening in from outside the United States, all of our transportation goes from outside cities to the city, to basically, and we don't have a spider web of transportation we can go from place to place and go to work. Um, and even that, we don't have any high speed. Our rails, our commuter rails, like from if I wanted to get into the major city near me, it would be at least a 15-minute ride, 15-minute drive to the train station, waiting for the train, and at least an hour just to hit the train station in the city. And then it's the walk. Some people like that. I don't have time for that. But it's only to get to the city. So if you live outside the city and work outside the city, that's a double commute to get to where you need. So anyway, that's why we don't have good public transportation here. So anyways, to sum up, you should be hauling ass now to get ready for whatever's going to come. They're talking food shortages. They're talking supply shortages. They're talking shortages on how to get places. Um, If you have an old dusty bike, tune it up now. So water shortages because the water plants need electricity to do the pumping. So anyway, but that I'll get off my high horse. But we should be doing things now. We should already be in action. If you're not in action now, it's time to hightail it. It's not time to hightail it for the toilet paper. It's time to hightail it for things that survive: food, water, shelter. How to maintain food, water, and shelter. The secondary things. You should have a good go buy the FEMA list. There's a FEMA list of get a 3-day supply of these supplies so that you're ready. Get a bug out bag. Okay, that's good. So you're ready. But then build on that. Build on that list. Okay, well, what will I need 1 day, 2 days, 3 days from now? What will I need a week from now, a month from now, maybe a year from now? Because some of these power plants, some of these refineries that have been, some of the refineries that have been destroyed, they're going to take years to come back online. And this whole conflict is expanding. It went from 3 countries to 17 countries, and there's more countries that are now being affected and coming in. So this thing's not going to slow down. It's just going to speed up. Okay, I'll get off my high horse. Okay, thank you for being my therapist. I'm hoping to get well and get better. We'll see what happens. Yeah, prepare now for what's most likely going to happen in a bit. Okay. All right. I hope you have a good weekend. Take care.